What's good, good people? Welcome back to another episode of the Wednesday Night Family Bloodline Podcast. Let me get that in there real quick. Yes, man. For some reason, I'm using a different mic, so they sound a little bit different to me on my end. But
You
well,
sound the
well,
same.
okay, all right. Maybe it's just the headphones.
Oh, the way you echo in the headphones. Okay,
I'm not echoing. This mic doesn't resonate as well as the other mic does.
gotcha.
So sounds a little distant. But if you say it sounds all right, I believe you. I'll take you for your word. I'm trying to make sure I don't roll
It
over
does
my
sound.
cat.
It does sound a little different, but
Yeah,
only because
not
you're
too
now
much.
making me notice it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we are back. We are back. It's all three of us. Deuce is finally back. Uh been gone for forever, man. Where you been?
Man, listen, I've been all over America, man. Mississippi River, Lake Havasu, the Grand Canyon, Houston, Dallas, Amarillo, Birmingham, Natchez, everywhere, man.
Natchez. All
hmm
right.
I rolled through Natchez. I ain't stopped. I
Okay.
seen the sign. We're like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. The sun must have been getting ready to go down. I don't know.
Mm, you already know. I said, let me get to Louisiana, bro.
yeah. I feel you.
Oh
I
man,
feel you. I get that. Well, we're glad you made it, and you made it
it's
in
good to
one
be
piece.
back.
Did you take that trip by yourself, or did you have a
No,
co-pilot? Or
yeah, I had co-pilot. Uh,
okay,
that helped out tremendously. And now
yeah.
it's just, bruh, trying to find a place to live in Cali is, it's
I
like,
wish you.
do you want space or do you want a nice place? Like, which one you want to sacrifice?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about that, bruh.
Oh,
Got
how?
spoiled out
Is
there in
Well,
that
America.
BA2 going to cover that cost? All that cost?
Yeah, it's me being frugal. I want to maximize the money I have in my pocket, but have a decent place. So I got to find that sweet middle ground.
yeah, yeah. And there is no middle ground in Cali, so you
No,
can
no.
you can get ready to get that shit up. That's one of the reasons
What,
why.
what, what city? What city are you in again?
All right, so I'm gonna be working out of Encino. So I'll be like what
Oh
south of the
yeah,
valley? Yeah.
So
yeah.
where's that at? You say Elsino?
Encino
Encino,
is let's see, thousand what is that, Thousand
Thousand
Oaks,
Oaks? Uh-huh.
Sherman
Thousand Oaks.
Oaks.
He's
Uh
so about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes north of LA, I believe, if memory serves
it's
me
North?
not
right.
even I mean, I guess I'm like without traffic, 15 minutes north of North Hollywood. With traffic, 30. Maybe
What high is that?
45 of
That 405, the 110? Which highway is that?
man, I ain't gonna lie to you yet. I've been following whatever Google tell me to go, bro. That's where I've been going.
You said you're 15 minutes north of North Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been down there. Oh yeah, that's right. That was one of my downs races. One of my downs races when I was at the KCOM.
425, baby. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, four two
Yeah.
five, 425. I got one of my battles. He lives down the street. As a matter of fact, he works with a different command, and
Mhm.
he is actually commuting into LA. And he's doing that trip down almost every day, back and forth.
Bro, listen. I'll sacrifice space for time.
Yeah,
Listen. I'll be right there in the front yard of the unit, man. Just sacrifice space for time.
yeah. I get that. I get that, especially out there, because
Yeah.
But you keep saying Elsino?
Encino.
Encino.
Oh, Encino.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
yep,
It's off of the 101.
yep.
It's off the 101. Goes
And it's
right
all
through it.
brown. It's all brown out there.
Okay. I got you. Yep, I got you.
Been there. Um, Hung out there, and not looking to hang out, not looking to hang out in that part of the world too much for an extended amount of time anyway.
Well,
Uh,
hold on. What happened?
what do you mean? I don't. I'll never move back to California.
Oh, you talking about Cali, period. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yo,
I,
and I
I
gotta say, I know I've been gone too long, man, because now you out here looking like a caramel Saint Nick with emphasis on your face, man. What's his baby got?
hey, look.
Rich, you got a little goatee too, bro. What the
Yeah,
hell y'all
yeah,
been doing since I've
yeah,
been gone, man?
yeah, yeah. I gotta start living. I gotta start living. They. I've been under regulation too long, and then I heard that they about to make everybody shave. They finna make
Yeah, they tried to,
everybody.
bro. They tried
I'm,
to. I'm about to thin this out when I come back. I'm not gonna be baby face. I'll thin it out for him though. I'll thin it out.
yeah, no, I'm never shaving again. Well,
The
I'll
Marine
shave when I
Corps,
want to.
the Marine Corps, they tell them you can't really shave to get you up out of here. So
Yeah,
Well,
they
that's
tell them mainly black men because
it's a
I had to
DOD
shave.
thing. It's DOD wide, man. It's crazy because if you get the bumps, they say go get
Yeah,
treatment. We may or may not pay for it, right? If you can't
I've
get it
always had one.
fixed,
Yeah.
adios. Is it a
and so
med board? Is it not a med board?
it's a medical condition, and nobody knew you had it until you were forced to put a razor to your
Yeah,
skin,
Yeah.
starting in
yeah.
basic
Funny.
training.
You know what's funny? You don't remember this, James. I got it when I went in. Your father had it. Now,
Ah,
over the course of time, his face got strong.
yeah,
So like, my face has gotten much better. Luckily, because I'm dark skinned too.
mm,
So, but you can't make those hairs turn straight when they grow out. So that when you shave really close,
Yeah,
if they don't, if you don't let them grow out, if you shave really close, then it curls inside that skin. And
yeah.
then
yeah.
it's really hard to get them. It just takes a week to get them out.
And Rich, me and you, we had that strong melanin, man. You know, James,
What
he
the
a
hell?
little weak on the
What
melanated side, man. You
the
know what I'm
Now,
saying?
hell?
Melon. Now
I
he gets
am.
the melon.
So
Okay.
I guess I'm a light
Yeah, you know,
skin
our
now. Is
melanin is
that
strong right here,
God
man.
dang?
Me and Rich,
My
you know, we mocha.
God,
You know, James like a caramel
man,
swirl.
jeez.
You know what? Either that or we are part of the original Hebrew tribe, which
Hey,
12
Mm.
take the 12, pick one.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, James,
That's
we'll
part
adopt
of
you
it.
in from the 13th tribe, bro. We'll take you in from the 13th tribe.
I'm okay with being a heathen, man. I kind of like it out there. I kind of like it out there.
Oh boy.
That's crazy. So what else has been going on, Rich? How have you been? Let's get away from Deuce. I don't know what he on. I'm
Let's
light
just,
skinned and everything damn else today.
look. Let's just get to it. Let's get to it.
All right. So just as a reminder, last week we were covering the budget bill,
Mhm.
and we were talking about Medicaid, Medicare, um,
Mhm.
and actually going through the bill and reading it verbatim. And it's a dry read. It's not
Yeah,
fun.
of course. Yeah.
Uh,
That's how they keep us out, man. It's not interesting.
yeah, yeah.
That's a
But
good way to keep us out.
it is. But I feel it's still somewhat necessary. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at the summary. I'm looking at the summaries, and that's what I'm primarily reading and going over. If to dig into the weeds, into the details, I'd have to go through and start looking at different parts of the text. But the summaries are pulling out the great points and perfect points and valid points. So we're not missing uh, we're not missing the heart of what things are getting at going through the
Okay.
summary. That's not me, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there. Oh,
What?
it sounded like somebody was scraping. No, okay, maybe it was me. I don't know.
I don't
Could
even
have
know what you're talking about.
Oh, it could have been stir fry. I don't even know that. Y'all don't hear that? Y'all didn't hear that? Anyway, so last week I wasn't able to pull the actual screen up. This round I am, since I'm back at home, and so I will share the screen to show everybody what I'm reading. And since I don't have my reading glasses, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to increase this sound. Give me 1 second. Let's, there we go. That's better. That's a lot better. Now I can see it. All right. So last week we stopped at I think it was 71 113. Y'all don't hear that.
Yeah, I got
I
good ears.
did.
I can hear anything. I can't see nothing, but I can hear everything.
There's a scraping noise. I promise.
A scraping noise?
It might be some feedback. Give me a
Does it
second.
go- Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it. Like a
Okay.
static distortion. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a second. Let me make sure it's it ain't my
It ain't my
audio.
fault.
Right.
Static. Yeah.
Speaker. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's trying to use a different microphone. I don't even know what microphone that is. All right. That should have disabled it.
You sound different.
Yeah. It should be. I
You
don't know.
sound muffled. It's not muffled. It sounds. It's not as. It's not
Clear.
as rich as it was before.
So when he was saying that he didn't have his microphone he wanted to use,
Yeah.
there's a price difference. So on that price difference, you've seen the quality difference in this particular
Absolutely.
case. Not always, but in this case, yeah.
Yeah. I don't like what is happening. But I switched it again, so hopefully this sounds a little bit better. I'm not sure. That is the weirdest thing. Because it was so I have a microphone on my camera also. And it looks like it was trying to pick up. Got it. Give me 1 second.
You gonna turn the microphone off on the phone? No.
I think I had to turn off a different device. Maybe that'll help. No. I don't know what's going on. Tell you what. And now it's gone.
Okay.
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 Yeah. All right. So getting back into the there it is again, but I'm gonna keep pushing. On TikTok, there was a question that says, have you seen Epstein pleading the fifth on Donald Trump? Yes. Yes. And of course,
Epstein.
Epstein. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Epstein, he pleaded the
Epstein.
fifth when he was being questioned.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
he did. There was
I didn't know that.
yeah, while we're on here, I'll see if I can find the actual clip of it. But it pulls it up, and he's asked specifically if he attended social events with Donald Trump and with underage girls. Right? That's the spirit of what was asked. And his response was, I would like to answer that question, but I will have to take the 5th, the 14th, and the 16th. I'll have to plead the 5th, 14th, and 16th.
14th and the 16th.
Yeah.
What's the 14th?
And that's due process is the 14th. So you're saying, and this is from a credible source. This is because if this was a credible source, the Democrats would be running wild with that statement.
But see, I don't agree that the Democrats are going to be running wild with it.
Because it has some of their people too in it.
Absolutely going to have some of their people, but that's not the biggest thing. I'm actually going to switch mics. I got one right here. That's not the biggest thing. I think the biggest thing that it comes to is yep, it is static. Thanks, Oscar. Is the relevance of what they were doing at the moment. So talk about that for a second. I'm finna switch mics. I can still hear y'all though.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all can pull it up or not.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I'm trying to look it up right now because
I'm trying to look it up
I want to
too.
know did it come from a reputable site. Well, it says here YouTube, Fox News, resurfaced clip shows Epstein pleading the fifth. Okay, here. So I'm going to go to this independent. They claim they're independent. I'm going to an independent site. Resurfaced clip shows Epstein pleading the fifth when asked if he was with Trump around underage girls. And this is as of 7/24/2025. This is off of, let me get the website
Okay,
correct.
so I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Let's assume that's true. Let's assume that's
Okay.
true. If I'm the Democratic Party, why wouldn't I use that as a weapon against Trump?
Mm-hmm.
So what year was that?
2010.
2010. He wasn't even. Did he run? He ran against Obama, right?
He did,
He was
but
like he was a distant
Who?
Trump. He ran and
No,
lost.
Trump
no,
ran in 2016 the first time.
16 was his first time.
Yeah, and he
yes.
won that.
I thought I
So it
remember
says
him
here
being
he
16.
was in
Okay.
the 2010 deposition. He pleaded, "Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?" Epstein replied, "Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today I'm going to assert my fifth, sixth, 14th Amendments and 14th Amendments rights."
Yes.
Okay.
I thought that static was me, but fortunately it's not.
Trump has never been accused of crime in connection with the Epstein investigation, has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. Pleading the fifth refers to invoking the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not self-incriminate. He pleaded the fifth over 1,000 times in a deposition in regards to his relationship with Virginia Guthrie, Prince Andrew, Bill
Mhm.
Clinton, along with subjects including his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, and his New York mansion.
All right, what
This-
doesn't make sense to me is
okay.
that if that was there, but that's a smoking gun against
One
Donald
quick.
Trump and his whole thing. So
Hold
why
on,
not use it?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Because this is a great point. In this independent website that I'm looking at, the attorney questioning Epstein is not identified in the clip. That's a problem. That's
Why?
a problem. I
Why?
don't know, but it's a problem because you could go to that attorney and put him under deposition or subpoena that attorney and make him answer those questions, and he would remember that.
What do you
So-
mean?
Why would you subpoena the attorney asking?
Because now you can verify that Epstein did plead the fifth. So even though this site is claiming off of you that this video resurfaced, I want to talk to that attorney because that attorney is not going to forget certain things in his career. This is one of those situations.
You're aiming for the validity of that claim. Did he say that or not? That's what you're talking
No,
about.
no. All I want to know is if I can go to more than one site, and this is allegedly an independent news site, allegedly. Independent.com news. And they're saying this, and there's other sites on the web saying the same thing. A resurfaced clip shows Epstein pleading the fifth when asked if he was with Trump around underage girls. So you could be around an underage girl and not be having sex with her.
Sure.
Did you?
Yeah.
So if Trump was around these underage girls, does that mean he had sex with them? No. Does it make him look bad?
Yeah.
So why
Absolutely.
not? So let's just for the sake of argument, let's assume this clip is true. Let's assume this clip is true. If it is, why didn't the Democratic Party use that against Trump?
So
I mean, Bill Clinton was already aired out.
yeah. So I can't speak. This is the reason. Like me, this is the only thing that I can think of. Not only are there people in the Democratic Party who were involved in this also, right? Because I'm not going to rule that out.
Right, of course.
But that's not something that they campaigned on. It's not a thing that they brought up. It's not something that they pushed. Maybe it could have been in an effort to protect people of the Democratic Party, but that's not the thing that they actually pushed out. That was something that the Trump campaign pushed out and ran on. And yeah, and there's this part also, and it would also release the different names of victims. Right. And that, now that's not to say that it can't be redacted. Names can't be redacted. That's not what anybody's saying. But that wasn't the focus of any of the candidates, the Democratic candidates campaigns. That just wasn't their focus.
That doesn't matter. So my thing is this, and I was writing this down. Did I flip back to this podcast here? And I see in the comments, Oscar said, because it is many business leaders, world leaders. And I had just wrote down too many big shots are involved in this.
So,
but and that's the thing though. That too many big shot idea,
right?
It's the same thing as the car companies being too big to fail. These motherfuckers get a bailout while the American people are suffering.
The banks get the bailout too.
Right. These motherfuckers getting taps on the wrist, but one guy suspiciously ends up dead, and another woman might end up getting a freaking pardon. But a black kid who's driving on a suspended license is getting his ass kicked by cops out on the street. That shit don't make sense to me.
Okay, so you went to that case. I'm gonna go back to the P. Diddy case. And when everyone was making fun of me and laughing at me, I said, that's the culture of Hollywood. So if you take one down, you got to take them all down. In this case here, because these people, when you have a member of the royal family of England being complicated or involved in this situation, you got a problem.
I agree.
You got a problem. And if he was involved, who else wasn't involved? And so the same thing with P. Diddy. We all kept saying all the rest of those stars, their names are going to come out. No names came out. None of them came out. And we know he wasn't by himself doing all that crazy stuff.
Yes. Now, with that being said, let me take a quick pause and make sure I do us a solid. Right. Okay. I meant to do this before, but we just jumped into it, and it was thanks to my man Spike on here. Disclaimer: views expressed are those held by the author and do not represent any other organization, company, corporation, or entity. All right.
When's August 29th come? Hold on. When's August 29th come? I'm your commander. I'm checking. Hold on a second. I'm checking. I'm your commander.
Not soon enough. Not soon enough.
Hey, look, it comes after the August 26th podcast. Yeah. So you'll be on the hook till Friday, August 29th. In fact, you may want to skip the podcast on August the 26th. So August the 27th, so you can wow out on August the 29th.
Which is funny. I'll be doing a podcast live from my family reunion. So
okay. That's what's up. All right.
Yeah. August 29th. We'll be in Nashville.
So wait, was it on your mama's side or your daddy's side?
Yeah, on my mom's side. On my mom's side. So let me play this video real quick that I have up on the screen. So yeah, that's a static. I thought it was coming from me. That's why I switched my mics. I don't know if it's me though. Because I can hear it. We're gonna power through it. We're gonna power through it. I'll figure it out in the wash. All right, so let me play this. I'm gonna start it back from the beginning, and this actual clip is coming from Fox. We'll see it in the bottom, right? It's not something that we're pushing out. This clip can be attributed to a Fox outlet, Fox News outlet. So here we go.
Ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights.
New tonight, a resurfaced 2010 deposition going viral shows Jeffrey Epstein pleading the 5th when asked about underage girls around Donald Trump. He admits socializing with Trump, but gives no evidence of wrongdoing. Trump has denied any ties to any crimes committed by Epstein, and there has been no allegations that the president did anything legally wrong. The New York Times and the Wall Street Journal are reporting on a 2003 birthday album for Epstein, compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell, that includes messages from Trump, Bill Clinton, and others.
All right. And so I will pause right there because I can't remember off the top of my head. What is that static? What the Sixth Amendment says.
Oh, wait, you hear
So,
a sound now?
yeah, I still kind of hear it.
Like a wind or something?
Is that what that is? You got a ceiling fan on?
Hold on 1 second.
I'm not, yes.
Look, after the podcast, I was going to look at all of my equipment. I was going to break it down. I was going to start looking up to buy some new equipment.
Okay. Do you still hear it now?
No, I don't. It's gone. I forgot. You're using the mic that I use. You're using the mic I usually use. And that thing
Picks up everything.
Yeah, it picks up everything.
All right. So do you hear any noise now?
No, we're good. Well, barely.
That's my air conditioner on. And
Okay.
And I don't have a gigantic home to go to bed.
No. Yeah, look, we all been suffering through a heat wave, and we gonna power through it. We gonna power through it. It's 90-something degrees here now. That's why I'm in the basement. It's ridiculous. So the Sixth Amendment. Let's look up the Sixth Amendment. Actually, I will do it. I'll do it over here.
Yep, and I'm doing that as well.
I'm looking it up.
I can't remember, and I've got my actual.
Right. That's right.
I've got my.
Hold on. The Sixth Amendment guarantees the right to a speedy and public trial, right to counsel, and right to confront witnesses in federal. This is how I say this: in federal criminal cases. You don't get a speedy trial for civil cases or state or civil cases. Now,
so
I'll let you read it.
Yeah, but no, go ahead. I want to look at something real quick.
No, because I want to go to the whole amendment, because this is what. Hold on, this is what AI is saying, but let's go to the Sixth Amendment and read it ourselves and see if we can make it like that.
And so this is coming from Cornell Law School, and if we need to, I'll go to a .org in a little bit, but this is how they're summarizing the Sixth Amendment. The Sixth Amendment guarantees the rights of criminal defendants, including the right to public trial without unnecessary delay, which is that speedy trial, the right to a lawyer, the right to an impartial jury, and the right to know who your accusers are, and the nature of the charges and evidence against you. It has been most visibly tested in a series of cases involving terrorism, but much more often figures in cases that involve, for example, jury selection of the protection of witnesses, including victims of sex crimes, as well as witnesses in need of protection from retaliation. That's the Sixth Amendment.
But the key is criminal and federal.
Yep. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed. Which, holy shit. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Jeffrey was federal
crimes, or is that also for state criminal crimes?
This is the Constitution, so it's federal. But this is I'm about to spill out a quick flaw. I'm going to spell out a quick flaw that I just read, which is why he invoked his Sixth Amendment right. It says, like I was reading, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed. If the crime is committed on his island, if a crime is committed on his island, does this apply? Would this have applied? Can any of his victims actually use? Can he can use this? He would have been able to use this. And now that I read it, if Ghislaine Maxwell is actually identified as being a part, although the president has recently called this a hoax, which blows everything that was done
out of the water, right? And it makes anything that she would have been prosecuted for null and void. But if this information that we just came across, if she invokes her Sixth Amendment right and she claims that all of those crimes were committed on an island outside of the jurisdiction of the federal government of the United States of America, does this apply?
Huh.
No, when they were questioning him back in 2010, they were talking about the crimes in Florida.
Okay, so it's got
Huh.
nothing to do with people being flued out to his island.
They may have tried to say that was trafficking to an island or something like that, but I believe that 2010 was in regards to the stuff in Florida.
That's the whole. Okay, I will see why you say that.
That makes sense.
But I could be wrong because something could come out tomorrow and say, because, hey, I never brought this up about this resurfaced clip talking about Jeffrey Epstein. The only thing I've ever said was I know he didn't kill himself in that prison or that Manhattan federal jail.
Yeah.
He didn't kill himself. I don't believe that at all. I don't care what they tell me.
Yeah, I don't think he did
What
either.
President Trump says, that's an absolute lie.
Yeah, and just to finish reading the this explanation or a part of this law, which district shall have been previously. Okay, so I want to pick it back up. Now, the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. That's the totality of that part. So I just wanted to finish that off and not leave the world
But
hanging.
I want to know, is it just for federal crimes or is it for state crimes?
So
AI tried to say it was just for state. Just for federal crimes. I don't think so. I think that's state crimes as well.
states will be different because each state has its own separate constitution.
No. When it comes to when it comes to trying somebody,
Mm-hmm.
the states may have their own thing, but the state's laws can't supersede the federal law. Federal law supersedes state law. So in that case, then, well, if it supersedes state law, federal law supersedes state law.
The feds would have to pick it up, but without this. So if the states don't have something like this incorporated into it, if it doesn't echo this amendment, the feds
won't
would
apply.
have to pick it up. Right. The
Yeah, it
feds
just
would have
wouldn't
to
apply. It wouldn't be that the state law supersedes federal. It's just that the federal law wouldn't apply because it's not a federal case.
No, the federal law supersedes state law.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, it may not apply. It may not apply because it wasn't if it was not a federal case, then it would not apply.
So that's what AI is saying, and I'm questioning that with AI.
Which AI are you using right now?
This is just when you do a Google search.
Okay.
You
So
do
that's
a Google search.
Is that Grok? That's not Grok.
No, I was just doing a regular Google search.
No, that's
Google has
Gemini.
And so
Gemini.
this AI Google view. Okay, so I'm on this Google Chrome, and it said the 6th and 14th Amendments foundational U.S. legal system. And it says the 6th Amendment guarantees the right to a speedy public trial, right to counsel, and the right to confront witnesses in federal criminal cases. And I think when he was talking down in Florida with that prosecutor, that was a state prosecutor because he got a sweetheart deal. Hold on, let's look that up because this is in 2010 when he got that conviction.
Okay. While you're looking that up, I put that question in my chat GPT.
Okay, great.
I'll read that. But let me read Oscar's comment. It says the 6th Amendment also says the trial must take place in the district where the crime was committed. Yep, unless venue is changed for legal reasons. So if Epstein was tried for crimes that occurred on his island, venue might be in the district court of the Virgin Islands, but federal law and rights still apply.
So check this out. Wow, this is something they don't talk much about. 2008, he pled guilty to state charges. That's where he got that sweetheart of a deal. Soliciting and procuring a minor for prostitution. The plea was part of a controversial non-prosecution agreement, granted him immunity from potential federal charges. At the time, he served, listen to this, 13 months, largely through a work release program. 2019, he was charged by federal prosecutors in New York with sex trafficking. of minors in conspiracy to commit
So
sex trafficking of minors.
so one was in New York and the other one was where?
2008, he was in Florida. He got convicted. That was state.
Okay. And so state was Florida, federal was out of New York.
Because when they try you in Florida and New York with the federal, they go to the Southern District, and then they know they're going to get a 99% conviction rate,
Unless it's
98%.
Diddy.
Huh?
Unless it's Diddy.
He got convicted. Well, he got convicted of two of the
Six.
Yeah.
two
So
of the
what?
five counts.
So how did they count? How does that go against the batting average? Does that help or hurt the Fed's batting average?
It ain't gonna hurt them. They still.
See,
You count that as
they're still
victory,
gonna
'cause
they're
only
still gonna
got
count that. They're gonna count that as a conviction.
Yeah, because he got
Yeah.
at least one conviction.
Yeah.
He got one conviction, and that conviction had 2 counts.
Yeah. Where
That's,
did my
that's funny
Unless
math,
somebody's
man.
a lawyer and tell me something different, because we're digging into these details on Epstein.
Yeah. So when I went through and I
You're-
asked my chat GPT, because I'm on 4.0 version, the regular one, I said the question that I asked is, does the Sixth Amendment apply to states or is it just federal? It says the Sixth Amendment applies to both the federal government and the states. Originally, the Sixth Amendment, like most of the Bill of Rights, originally applied only to the federal government. But later, through the doctrine of selective incorporation, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that nearly all protections in the Bill of Rights, including the Sixth Amendment, apply to the states via the 14th Amendment's due process clause.
You know why they said that? I'm going to tell you why.
I'm listening.
Just like you said, because the 14th Amendment due process was for the descendants of the enslaved African who could not get due process,
Right.
who were held as slaves. And so the 13th, 14th, and 15th. So even after slavery ended, the 13th Amendment for voluntary servitude, that part didn't really end if they convict you of a crime or something. But in the South, they still couldn't get due process from those states. So they had to do a federal 14th Amendment so that the descendants of the enslaved African would get due process and get their citizenship rights.
Gotcha.
They didn't come to the country legally as immigrants. They came over legally as slaves. Oh, don't get me preaching tonight. I'm supposed to be quiet.
I'll buy that. I will buy that. I will absolutely buy into all of that. It sounds good to me. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take that one. All right. So let me man, we went backwards. I don't want to go too far backwards because that
well, remember what you said.
Yeah.
I think Bruce wasn't on that podcast. He's like, this Epstein thing is gonna blow over. I said, you sure? I said, are you sure? Because the Democrat, remember, our country is completely divided.
Yeah.
So when you have the two extremes on the extreme Democrats and the extreme Republicans saying we want that information out on Epstein, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You got a problem.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy is that's the sticking point. All the stuff this dude has done. That's the sticking point. That just amazes me.
Well, that was the needle that broke the camel's back, because now the swamp isn't being drained out of, and that was one of the things that I was asking I guess that was on that night, like, out of all the stuff that's happened, out of all the lies that have gone down, why this one thing? And what I will say to that point is, at least there is a sense of morality that is permeating MAGA in that stance. Like, we want to know who did this to these folks. And because I might be digging, but I'm hoping that there was a point or a sense of morality that said, you all did these wrong things to these kids. We want you to be held to justice. Now, that look, just like me.
And that statement doesn't sit right in my soul, but I can't come up with the counter right now, but I know it doesn't sit right here.
I see it in your face.
Morality and MAGA, putting them together is a tough thing, but I can't come up with a counter argument right now. Not a well thought out one. So I'm gonna put that on the back burner. I'm gonna shelve that one.
Yeah, and listen, like we can't forget that a segment of MAGA comes from QAnon.
Well, wait,
right?
but hold on. I think it's deeper than that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, please, because I can't rest on that one.
Listen, because people make fun of me when I come up with some of my little crazy ideas that sound like they're conspiracies. The far left believe in the conspiracies. The far right does too. And when they come to an agreement that they know Epstein did not hang himself under the protection of a federal institution, of course, they had to be blacks, of course, working that ship, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They are
Yeah.
not accepting that. And they're right to not accept that. So when people say, well, hey, that happened, Liberty Twitcher, it makes a great point.
Yep.
They're more worried about this than what's going on now. Well, actually, what's going on now is a reflection of what you have allowed to happen in the past. So if you give Jeffrey Epstein a pass by killing him, listen to how I say this. Allegedly, I say this, allegedly, because we don't want to get sued. Allegedly, I believe that the U.S. government killed him. I also believe the U.S. government allegedly killed Dr. King and Malcolm X.
So the Dr. King part is not an alleged thing. That has been taken to court and proven.
And JFK.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now look, the far left and the far right, I think the far left was concerned about the civil rights and the Kennedy boys. I'm not so sure about the far right. But in this case...
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
You're talking to Oscar, aren't you?
Sorry, that point.
I'm going to read both points. Let me start with this one from Liberty Twitcher, and this is a point that I made before also. This is all we are. This is all we are at this point. We are literally the world's freaking entertainment. There is nothing serious about these things. There isn't.
Okay.
So like he's saying, it's because we're a reality TV society now. People care more about a bad guy who died years ago than they do about what's affecting them now.
But I think no, Liberty Twitcher is correct, but there's more to that. If you don't correct this is where I catch black folks. If you don't correct your past, then don't talk about your future. So if you give Jeffrey Epstein a pass and give Ghislaine Maxwell and all the people who participated in this, if they're getting passes because of their positions of power and authority in the world, then the person you elected as president, you wasted your time, because he told you he was against all of that. He was going to drain the swamp. When the truth comes out, he was no different than the rest. Period. And that's what's got the MAGA, if you want to call them the MAGA. That's why the MAGA far extreme are so upset, and the far left is saying, "Oh, something's up." And if we think we got, maybe President Trump involved, we don't care about Bill Clinton or anybody else who's a liberal. Hang them all out to dry. And now
it's a line with their thinking, because they want to protect the embryo, right? They want to protect the embryo, the pro-life, right? They want to protect women to some extent. They want to protect women when it's socially cool to do that, right? So Epstein was an enemy against kids. It falls within their Christian values. So thus they have to stand up for it, right? They overturned Roe versus Wade, so they got to stand on this, right? It's
fair enough. But
it's
this
the
is
foundation of MAGA.
But this is more about, we want to know who was involved in this. In fact, the MAGA right, if we can say that, I don't know about all of them.
Yeah.
The MAGA right is so inflamed about this that if President Trump's involved, they don't care.
Yeah,
and that's what got them concerned. Because remember what he said: I can go out here, I'm just ad-libbing. I can go out here and shoot a brother on Wall Street.
Yeah.
You correct. You sure could, and get away with it. You could probably shoot a white man who's not worth a lot of money on Wall Street. But the children, you done touch somebody's nerve. That's kind of like if you go to prison for raping a woman, sexually abusing a child, sexually abusing the elderly, they got to put you away from the other criminals. There's a code of conduct, and you have broken that code in the prison. So President Trump is afraid that if people say you broke the code, he'll lose his MAGA base, and then he's done. Just like that. All that hard work he did to get back up in the White House, and then this situation won't go away. If I'm President Trump, I'll be pissed too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
they can't force it to go away either. And that's a funny thing. And so let me read this comment.
Information out. The
Yeah.
judges can't let that information out
But
because
let me read this this comment by Oscar real quick. And he's correct. There is a hermetic principle that says polar extremes are one and the same and eventually meet. Absolutely. It's nothing more, nothing less than temperature. Regardless of how extreme temperature is, be it hot or cold, at the end of the day, it's temperature. And temperature is looking to do the same thing that just about everything and everybody else is. And that's get to a point of equilibrium, a balance, get to the middle, meeting in the middle. And that's what's happening with the Democrats and the MAGA crowd when it comes to this Epstein, President Trump deal, right? That's part of that's the issue. And again, like I was saying, there's a part of this crowd, this MAGA crowd, that branched off from the Tea Party, that moved into QAnon, that ended up assimilating into. Remember, these guys came from Pizzagate, right? It was the whole conspiracy of celebrities and prominent people talking about having a specific type of pizza, but they were actually talking about pedophilia.
well, listen. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Check
Yeah.
this out. My recall is coming back. I remember speaking to Liberty Tricher
Yes.
from a few months ago, from a few weeks ago. He wouldn't tell us who he was.
Yeah.
All right. So I remember who you are, Liberty Tricher. Now he or she, or they or them, they make a great point. They only care if it's white children. That's a great point. I can't dispute that. But
And that's what Jeffrey had. That's what Jeffrey had. He had all this the snow angels.
Hold on. Great. That's a great point. But hold on. Let's go back for a second. I don't know what he's laughing at. I don't know if it's Liberty Tricher or something else.
Snow Angels is wild.
But listen to this.
I got that
Check
song
this
on my
out.
Snow Angels.
So, and I'm not trying to criticize Liberty Tricher tonight or anything like that. Because he's making valid, he or she or they or them, they're making valid points tonight. If y'all go back in the past, remember the serial killers. This one stood out in particular called Jeffrey Dahmer, and he was hurting black men. What he did was so reprehensible that in the state of Ohio, that's kind of a strong Republican state, that when he went to the prison system, those white folks, I know it ain't blacks controlling the prison system, those white folks up there put him in general population, and he's got his ass taken up out of there.
Yeah.
So in that particular case, a black life did matter because white people were so upset that he was just grabbing all these young black men and killing them and eating them. It's an isolated case. It's an outlier. But we've had this before. So I bring up Jeffrey Dahmer to bring into comparison this situation with Epstein. Yes, these children or these young underage girls were white, but there's sometimes in this country where white people as a whole, European Americans as a whole, will stand up and say, we're not going for this. Now, it's not very often. And when they do, from both sides, you have a problem. And the judges don't want to release the information because, number one, they're afraid they're going to break the law. Judges, they don't want to break the law. But number two, if there's powerful people involved and them lobbyists are calling them judges, they don't want that action. And then number three was we don't want to re-hurt the victims, re-dramatize or re-victimize the victims.
Victimize, yeah. And so
re-victimize the victims again.
So there's a difference with the information that's being asked from the judges. The information, unless I read it wrong, the information that's being asked from the judges is the information from grand jury. The other information, which is why there was a guy that was arguing that all the information or everything that's been pushed out has been brought in front of the judge's face, so it's evidence, which is why they can't put it out. But the rest of the information that they're asking to be released is not from grand jury, right? And so that's the difference. The argument right now, the stalemate is, well, since a judge read, does it make it non-releasable? And I don't know the answer to that. I'm just saying what the argument is, but it's two different sets of information. That's
you know what the problem is with that though? Is the people want it all out.
Oh yeah,
Because Let me tell you how bad this is. Remember when we were talking about the Fed? Now, somebody has gone on, I forgot his name, somebody has gone on Tucker Carlson on his podcast and talked about how the Fed's printing money out of thin air and how it doesn't mean anything. And I laughed because I said, I got criticized for that, but I'm a black man. So no matter what I do, gray suit, blue suit, tan suit, the suit ain't right. But when the white man says it, wait a minute, we gotta talk about this. This is an epidemic. Gotta have an intervention.
Oh Lord.
And so what I'm saying is Tucker Carlson also wants to know about this Epstein case. So Tucker Carlson has Donald Trump's back, but at a certain point, Tucker Carlson expects greatness because he's been told that this man he's supporting is the ultimate American. Well, the ultimate American doesn't hurt children of any race, actually. But in this case, young white girls who are young and impressionable, they're the apple of the eye. We have to protect them. And you can't protect them, we've got a problem in this country.
So
go
ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah. I was about to say about Tucker Carlson. I've never liked him. I still listen because I have a thirst for listening and stuff. But his rhetoric lately has not been pro-Trump. At least
no, it has not.
Right.
I love that dance that him and Cruz had.
Oh
brother,
my God.
it wasn't a dance because Cruz was not up to. He didn't know the steps. That was a car wreck.
Yeah,
a train wreck. Where Cruz was the victim.
I tell you what, find out here's another comparison, and it relates back to Epstein. Tucker Carlson in his podcast, if he's taking any funding on his podcast, it's not coming from the elite. It's not coming from the controllers. Senator Cruz, on the other hand, along with President Trump, when those people call and tell you, oh, this is what you're going to do, or you're going to have some problems, they're going to do what they're told to do.
Sure.
Period. And that's why they're going after I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off. Go ahead.
That's why they're going after Candace Owens. I don't know if what she said was so slanderous or not, but they're coming for her. But she's like, hey, I don't care. Come on.
Good.
I know.
And
it's getting tricky. So you have your two opposite ends of the political spectrum. But when these two individuals who hate, and I mean hate each other, when these two have to agree with one another, you know they don't want to. You got a problem. This is what I was trying to say a few weeks ago. I said, Trump. Wait, one last point, because I don't want to talk too much. Remember when I was laughing about cutting those checks?
You talking about the
Elon check
when the bros were cool? Yeah.
No, I said if things get too tough, cut a stimulus check. Now they're talking about cutting the check when the tariff money comes in. Cut a $600 check.
Okay, let me pause real quick. Just so people get the math. That's not freaking math. And golly, I can't wait until August 29th. If you get a check from tariffs, you have to remember who pays the goddamn tariffs. It is not foreign countries.
Oh, no, wait, let me jump on that. When you get done, I gotta jump on that.
I said that because I think we need to dedicate a whole segment, a whole episode to that foolishness that people think we are turning a profit when it's been shown that the average household is losing freaking money. But we got billions of dollars in tariffs, but not one foreign country pays tariffs. But go ahead, Deuce. You got it.
No, so it's funny. I have this app in my Discord that gives me financial news, and one of the things it had was the amount of money that the Treasury scooped in from tariffs, and it stuck out because people were all clamoring. It was an insane amount, man. Trying to see. It's not gonna. Oh wait. I know.
Was it like
was.
Huh? Was it 16 billion or more?
It was. Hold on. Let's see. First of all, how you spell tariff? You know I can't spell. T-A what?
R-R-I-F, I believe.
T-A-R-R? That was two L's.
It could be
Yeah.
2x.
Anyways, it was an insane amount of money, right? Insane amount of money that I'm not gonna find right now because we also had interest rate that did not change again. But to your point, like you're saying, um,
IFS.
we took it. Ah, man, it was an insane amount. I freaked out when I saw it, and people were celebrating. Donald Trump's doing all this, but to your point, we're paying it. We're paying it. The consumer is paying it. Um, and the Fed chief, I know that's Richard's best friend, old JP, talked about that when he did a Q&A today. The reason why we haven't seen a uptick in inflation yet is because the corporations here are still operating off their existing inventory, right? There's new stuff coming in to replace the existing inventory that's going to be more expensive. Companies are already putting out in their quarterly calls, yearly calls, how this is affecting everything. So right now it looks good, but also to your point, you guys were talking about the money being printed out of thin air and whatnot. The dollar has decreased in value from January to now.
Yes.
It went from like 109. I was like, it's at like 99, 95. It's decreased, which will help a bit combat the terrorists, not for us, for other countries. So it's all a game, it's all a dance, man. But we'll see what happens on the
Hold on
29th.
a second. You know why it tickles me? Because I talk to smart people. I really do, on a consistent basis. And they have incredible logic. They can tell me the polls, the stats. Stats can be misleading. Polls can be misleading depending on who they're polling. You know what the dollar stands for? And I've never said this before, but on July 30th, 2025, 5:57, I think it's 5:57. Yeah, 5:57 p.m. The dollar stands for the white man's perception of who he is. Okay. And the one thing that I can always bet, this white man, this European American, he came to America, he had to do some shady stuff. Is he sorry for it? Kind of. It worked out. So the one thing I can count on is for him to protect his status. And some white men, particularly from the South, they are not about to give up their status. And so this idea that our dollar will lose its value and stuff, no, it won't. If the dollar ever loses its value to where we're no longer considered the #1 country on earth, we're part of a world government, and we're on our way out. And that's not going to happen in our lifetime. So we'll be just fine. So the stock market goes up and down.
No, I'm not saying it's going to decrease to zero. It's going to decrease to a point to try to, it's not going to offset the tariffs, just to neuter the crowd a little bit. But I found the number.
Okay.
The Treasury is set to add $200 billion next month from tariffs.
That's sad.
Now, you know what? Because you're reading from a reputable site, I imagine. That sounds great. But
it sounds like a beautiful news clip. It sounds like something that MAGA can hang their hat on and say, we told you guys he's going to help out America. He's bringing in $200 billion into the country next month. That's what it sounds like. But
I kept saying, we don't know yet. I said, hold off before you make a decision, a positive one or a negative one. And even though I'm against the central bank, because I don't believe in putting the power of controlling our money supply in the hands of private bankers, I don't care if the president appoints them or not, because I know that they're doing the bidding of someone else. This is my own personal opinion, but for righteousness, for the sake of God through Jesus Christ, I am not speaking ill will of anybody's religion, their ethnicity. Let me say that again. I'm not speaking ill of no one's religion, their ethnicity, their country of origin, their language. I'm telling you, through the grace of God, through Jesus Christ, I do not trust the central bank because we don't have control. If the people don't have control over that, what are you laughing about?
No.
I'll tell y'all back to me.
I'm sorry, glass, man.
It's not you. It's not you. I swear it's not you. That's just
y'all getting text messages or something from somebody.
No, I'm just watching the screen. That's all. Man.
Oh, on Facebook or somewhere else? Okay.
No. We'll catch it on the replay. We'll catch it on the replay. I
Yeah.
promise.
But
I
this
promise.
Epstein case, and you know what's funny? This Epstein case is really a reflection of the big beautiful bill. It really is. Because if
Also,
you don't address your past and make people accountable for the things in the past, regardless of their position of power, but then don't look at the big beautiful bill and say, "Oh, this is robbery." You've been robbed from the time that you came to this country because you were sold on the idea that you had the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion. Well, if you were a white male property owner, you had access to all that. Then later on, we'll add you on, but you were never really part of the party. So if I have a party and I invite y'all to, and then later on people complain like, "Man, why can't we get a Richard's party?" Oh, my bad. Come on in. You part. You ain't part. Only James and Deuce part of this party. I brought you in so you would stop complaining and marching down my street because we up here partying and wilding out, and now you want to party with us. Okay, well, come on in the back. Okay, now that you come in the front, but you're not really part of this. So the foundation of this country was only for a small group of people. It wasn't for everybody. But we were sold on those bill of goods, some of us. And this Epstein case, which is a reflection of the big, beautiful bill, is you're being sold on something with no accountability. And that's what the far left and the far right are screaming about, no accountability, particularly for those in power. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm surprised Miss Maxwell is still alive, to be honest with you.
Oh, I'm not. You can't. That's
okay.
I think that's a perfect position to pivot, like the current POTUS on multiple different topics, right? Because everybody's saying, "Hey, we want Epstein, we want Epstein, we want Epstein." Well, I'm going to release MLK files, right? We want Epstein, we want Epstein, we want Epstein. Wait a minute, all these black people were paid by the Democratic Convention, and I want to open up investigations into why Beyonce got or received money, why Al Sharpton received money. We want Epstein. We give us Epstein. We're just asking you for Epstein. Like everybody, just like we'll deal with everything else. We're not discounting what you're saying. Mr. President, we got you, but we want Epstein. Wait a minute. Don't you? Why are y'all still talking about Epstein? That's not a big deal. We just want, you told us, you promised us that you were going to give us this. Can we have it? Well, I tell you what, we used to be best. We used to be friends. I've known him. I wish Ghislaine Maxwell, I wish her well. But but what about Bill Clinton? Matter of fact, why don't we look into President Obama being a traitor? Because go ahead.
Cash Patel went on one of the largest pods in America, right?
Yeah.
Joe
Rogan. That's the largest one. That's the largest one.
He was on there. He was on there talking. That's when he was crying about how hard it is. I just see his family. He has to be to work on time, and there's things called meetings.
Yes.
But then in the middle of that, he was saying how he is going to go hard on the Epstein files to unlock the ones that the Democrats have been sitting on and release them to the public. He went on the podcast and said that.
Hold on, wait a minute. This is where I defend Cash Patel and Dan Bongino.
I forget. Yeah.
This is where I defend them. They're sincere. Pam Bondi was somewhat sincere, but when the powers, the people who you don't know, when those families, when they call the president, when they call certain people and say, "You're not releasing shit," now President Trump says, "Okay." Because remember, he was supposed to release all that information about the UFOs or the flying objects over in New Jersey when he first came to office.
Hey, I just mentioned there was a
now Chris Cuomo was on this. Listen to this. Chris Cuomo was on this big time. So Trump said, all this flying stuff, we don't know what's going on. Biden doesn't know what he's doing, which Biden didn't know what he was doing. But Biden knew he couldn't tell the truth on what was flying over in New Jersey. And it wasn't no damn drones, wasn't no military operations. So when Trump got in office,
I just want to know, because I had to ask, maybe because I'm from Alabama. I forget things sometimes. You said Pam and Cash sincere. And I had
Wow.
to look it up. Genuine, honest, and feeling or expression, not fake, pretend, or deceitful, free from hypocrisy or
Oh,
pretense,
okay.
truly meaning what one says it does. I just wanted to make sure I ain't
Thanks,
forget
Richard.
the
Thanks, Richard.
definition of the
Well,
word.
hold on, Richard. Since you're looking that up, Richard, look up hermetic. That means sealed, closed. Since you want to look up words tonight,
Mm.
look up hermetic. Since you're
Right.
looking
No,
up
no,
words.
and I'm with you on that. But you want to say that their intent was sincere. I
I
think they
believe
were
that.
just doing what the big man told them to do.
That's true, but they
Because
didn't.
they're all surrogates of the big man.
Right. But what I'm saying is, they don't have certain people calling them saying you're not doing this. So when they called President Trump, he said, "Well, so you said, well, who's they, Richard? Who's they? The powers to be that run this country and run this earth, who want a one world government. Those are the powers to be. The same powers to be that said, Jeffrey Epstein, you're doing too much. We're getting you up out of here. Dr. King, you're doing too much. Malcolm X, you're really doing too much. Kennedy
Yeah.
boys, you should know better. You're gone too. Those are
Everyone
the
you
powers to
listed,
be. And the
your whole
powers to be.
list.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just want to interject right here. Your whole list is filled of people who have influence. Your whole list, I'm sorry, filled of people who were changing the status quo. Pam Bundy and Cash don't have that leverage because they're surrogates of the person who has the leverage, which
Okay.
is, yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I would
But
say no one, you're right in the fact that no one's telling them not to because they don't. They're just going to go to Trump.
well, listen, when some of those names came out about Bill Clinton was down there with the young girls, nobody
Mhm.
even batted an eye. When they said Alan Dershowitz, I said, uh-oh. Dershowitz said, hey, I wasn't down there. But when they said Prince Andrew of the royal family of England, I said, we got a problem.
When they put his picture up,
We got a problem. Those powers to be didn't contact that news media site or other sites and say, hey, don't run that or you're going to have some problems. So, and there's probably some U.S. leaders in politics and business that was going to that island. So if you can get Bill Clinton to go, or you can get President Trump to go, you can get anybody to go. Because you're going to an island. What you do on that island stays on that island. Hell, that's almost as good as going to Las Vegas and doing some dirt and then going back to where you came from. And that's U.S. based in Las Vegas. So if you ever go to Las Vegas and see all those women working,
I'm trying to figure out the pivot though, because I understood the question because I've been hearing it a lot lately about well then why didn't the Democrats bring it out? As a matter of fact, President Trump used the same line not too long ago.
Yeah.
But my question is, if you have nothing to be guilty of or ashamed of, and if you separated yourself from ever having the verbatim, right? I never had the privilege of going to the island, right? That's what the president said. If you don't believe me, we can look it up because that's how he actually described it, right? Why not just release it?
That's what everybody's saying.
And I understand that there are powerful people that have been playing these Greek games. I get it, right? I understand that they indulge their perversions. I get that. But if you are totally removed from the situation and your hands are white, you are as pure as the driven snow. Why not allow the chips to fall where they may?
He can't release him even though he may be innocent, because the people who run the show run him. Okay? They run him. And anything he's done wrong, they got the goods on him. So if you get out of line, they'll bring out the goods on you and you will be impeached and you will be removed.
I can't disagree with that because like right now, Putin is pushing back and like I don't care about your deadline. I don't care about your deadline. What you got, dudes?
No, I will. It's rich. I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna push back because it's rich. I take the perspective that he is on there deeply, because we talk about a man, Trump, who hangs his hat on the fact that no one can claim him. No one's claiming him as a dependent on their taxes, right?
Ah,
Trump's always
oh,
said that. And he's
yeah.
always acted as such. He's always acted as a maverick with his own agenda, no matter who says what. I mean, we've seen how the tech giants fell in line to kiss the ring. We saw it. So I think, and we've seen how other things have just bounced out. He's Teflon Don, man. I think this one is a silver bullet. I don't think this is a kryptonite. If everything comes out, he can't dodge that one. So I do think his attachment to Epstein is deeper than what we currently know. And that's why all the pivots are coming. That's the only thing. To Richard's point, I don't think it's other people that say, hey, if you air it out, we're on there. We're going to air this out about you. So much has come out about this man that the public just doesn't, the,
You don't
pub,
quite
the,
get this.
the public just doesn't care.
You don't get this. When he first told you in 2016 he was going to bring out all the JFK stuff, he didn't do it. When
Yeah.
the powers to be say you're not letting out certain stuff, that's what they mean. And if you let that stuff out, you'll be up out of here. Now, you have your freedom of speech to do your job as the president, but be willing to accept the consequences. All right? Now, Dr. King, love him or hate him,
Mhm.
they got him up out of here. Same for Malcolm X, same for the Kennedy boys, because these were men who you could not buy out. You could not compromise them, except for the women. And like I said, show me a man with power, and I'm gonna show you some women.
So
Period.
I don't disagree with what y'all are saying, but I'm looking at this in a little bit of a different stance, right? And
Mhm.
how I'm looking at, I saw Polis. What's going on, Pola? What one of the ways that I'm looking at it, outside of the fact that I think he is just as guilty as other people. That's a personal opinion. But I also think that if it's released, the leverage that he has on people is gone. The
I don't.
one of the things that I'm
Mm.
trying to figure out, like, why did these Republicans just give it up? Why did they bend it over, spread the cheeks, and just let him bust it open? If he didn't,
Ah.
I think that there's leverage. He's got leverage in there, and he doesn't want to give it up. I think that's
His
part of it.
leverage, his only leverage is he has the support of his base at 35 to 40%. And that leverage is so high with his base that he can basically get most Republicans out of their districts, unless it's a district where that particular Republican has it on lock. And very few of those Republicans have their district on a lockdown like that. That's where his leverage is.
But
But
they're in trouble
again,
now.
What?
if the powers to be, and they've already called and told him, we're not releasing the information about those UFOs. Listen how I say this about those UFOs. He told you all this stuff you see in New Jersey and Biden won't talk about it. On day one, I'm gonna tell you everything. He ain't told us nothing.
I
He
mean,
can't.
a lot of things supposed to happen on day one.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. But those UFOs is so critical to national security because people are not able to accept that there are people from outer space that have more power than us. And they are trying to keep that on the lid. It's going to come out in our lifetime before we pass away from here. It's
Yeah,
going to come
and
out.
but also another thing that happens with aliens and all that extraterrestrial beings is that it begins to peel back a different layer of religion that people aren't ready for. That's another unfortunate truth about it. It begins to peel back that layer of religion, especially when it comes to white Christian nationalism. It pulls it away because there's a loss of power, there's a loss of belief. And when you lose that in religion, you lose that type of power, control, and governance in the government in and of itself.
Can I can I just get back to the pivot? Right.
The pivot.
Getting back to the
Yeah.
pivot.
Pivot
I
back to
just
the
want to
beginning.
highlight. I want to highlight some key dates, man. This is the Trump administration timeline with Epstein. This is all public knowledge, right? Quick hitters. I'm gonna
Sure.
skip ahead some. Okay, April 22nd. The president is asking the Oval Office about when Epstein's files will be released. He says 100% of all the documents are being delivered. April 22nd. May 7th, Bundy claims there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. Her public claim comes shortly after the release of a secretly recorded video, right? Sometime in May, Bundy briefs Trump. May 18th, for the first time, the administration begins to pivot and downplay the Epstein conspiracy theories. Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino appear together on Fox News and say Epstein did die by suicide. The
Yep.
19th, they say they're still committed to releasing those files, but defers to the Justice Department on it instead of the president doing it. 29th, the Deputy Bongino downplays significance. There is nothing in the file at this point at Epstein. There's nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case. And there's nothing to be disclosed at this point.
They
Skip
burned
ahead, June 5th, Elon Musk on Twitter, the Twitter beef. I know it's out there, Donald. Put it out. June 5th. Let's see, there's some more stuff. And then July the 6th, Axios breaks the news that the DOJ has officially concluded that Epstein died by suicide.
Yeah.
And that there was no client list, despite Bondi's comments previously.
Wait, when she make those comments, there was a list that was made or February?
No. So in this comment, it says February. Let me go back to February. I skipped ahead.
She made that comment
Bondi,
in February, right?
okay, February the 21st. Let me see, make sure I'm not skipping anything. All right, February the 21st, Attorney General Pam Bondi is asked by Fox News about Epstein's client list. And she
Yeah.
responds by saying that it's sitting on my desk right now for review. I remember that.
I remember
It's
that
on
also.
my desk right now. That's
Quick question.
February the
Quick
21st.
question. Wait, quick question. That was on February 21st. When she said that it's sitting on my desk, did she say the client list, or she just was saying it's sitting on my desk in response to the client list?
I'm going to repeat it exactly what she said, and you can take from it what you will. Attorney General Pam Bondi is asked by Fox News about the Epstein client list. And she responds by saying, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Okay. Great point. Okay.
And that's
The administration has since claimed she was referring to other documents.
and that's not how, because and so I listened to both of those. I played it back. I read the information as well. And I can't. She's a liar. Let me say it flat out. It's a lie. And I'm saying that because she's a litigious person. She understands words. She may have forgotten what was asked her in February versus the latter question of what she said, but she spoke specifically to a list.
Yeah.
Not
that
this
question,
vague, not this vague thing that she ended up dreaming up when she responded to it later on. That was a different answer than what she gave before. I just want to point that out.
And you know what? February 21st, when she made that statement, that told the far left and the far right, we're getting the client list.
Yeah.
And she's really having a hard time trying to walk that back. Because when you said the word it's, because when you said she was asked by Fox News in response to the client list, she quote says, it's sitting on my desk. It's, and refers to the client list. Yeah. So then she'll, no, Lisa, listen to this. Kellyanne Conway, I missed that gal. Kellyanne Conway would say, oh, well, here's a new set of facts.
Right.
Pam Bondi needs to call Kellyanne Conway. Because she could say, oh, no, that's not what I meant. No.
Yeah, oh, yeah, she would feel hard.
And have a certain percentage of America agreeing with Kellyanne Conway. Now, could she get her out of this hot situation?
Not at this point. It's too late.
Not at this point. Maybe earlier on. I don't know. But both sides, and this is what I was saying a few weeks ago, just you weren't on. I said this Epstein thing is kind of serious because the country is not united and won't be united for another 10, 15 years. And so when you have the two extremes on the political spectrum united, something now I don't know if anything's going to really happen, because President Trump can say, you know what, let them keep bitching and moaning and groaning. I'm still not giving up anything.
He's just going to continue to double down. That's all he's going to do.
He has to.
Other pivots. I mean, and since, let's see, what was the big pivot here? Was it May 18th?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
For the first...
You three voted for this shit, now laying it. Hold on a second. I didn't vote for President Trump.
Nor did I.
Yeah, nor did I. But May 18th, the administration pivots. Since May, just off the top of my head, we've bombed Iran, right?
Right.
We bombed Iran. We bombed Iran. Want to lock up Obama, Beyonce, Kamala, Biden.
Hold
I
on.
always want to lock up Hillary.
Wait a bit. But it makes me laugh. He's talking about President Obama. Okay, whatever. But you go with the first, the big black one first, and then you go with Beyonce. Let me tell you something. This is funny. You want to blow this country up? You go arrest that sister. You will see. If you think what's that?
Yes.
Bonnie Willis and Tisha James. If you think those sisters was acting funny, you go put Beyonce in prison.
Oh,
Let me tell you something.
No.
This country will blow. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
That's the Charlotte Gordon Campbell exact. Oh,
Bro,
also since
Kamala
then,
Harris? Maybe.
Beyonce, you can't touch Beyonce. You can't touch. Also since then, the line between church and state, which is already a very thin line, paper towel. He's tearing holes in that thing now, because now not only can pastors, political leaders endorse politicians, now you can talk about it in federal workplaces. Now I don't know if that applies to DOD, because DOD always has a separate thing. I haven't seen anything yet, but federal workplaces, your supervisor can recruit you.
Yeah.
Can what?
So in federal workplaces, your supervisor can recruit you to their religion.
Yes.
Freedom of religion?
There is none. They're blurring the lines on purpose.
Mhm.
Like that's the testing grounds for that was Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
And now this fictitious movement of Christianity, white Christian nationalism, this bullshit, this falsehood. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not an overly religious person, but I'm gonna say this. I sincerely hope every one of these motherfuckers that fall under this Christian nationalism, I hope they do actually touch hell. I hope every last one of their asses do. They deserve it. Because it's nothing more and nothing less than a movement of hatred and white supremacy. That's what Christian nationalism is.
Wait a minute. I agree with you, but here's where I have to give them their respect. They tell me who they are.
Oh, they always have.
No, I respect them. Don't put the Klan hat. Don't put the Klan hood on, and don't come telling me that we're all equal. But this is how you really feel about me. So on that matter, I give them the respect that I'm a nigger, and I will always be a nigger, and that's how they feel about me, and I respect that because they can tell me that to my face,
and then get knocked the fuck.
Look, they don't go up in the jury, looking at me and saying, "Oh, I can be non-biased." No, I ain't accepting that. They don't come to me in my workplace. Oh, we can be work colleagues. We're all equal here.
Right. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me send this shout out to TikTok real quick. Hey, Jimmy, if you want to hop on the podcast, you gotta come on YouTube or Facebook and look us up. That way you can be a part of the panel, because I see you over here in TikTok land, but come and be a part of the actual panel. But yeah, I hope they all.
But hey,
that's so much that I want to say that I can't until the 29th of August.
Hey, let me tell you something. It tells you this in Isaiah 45:7. I create the good and the evil.
But
so, hold on. Let me make sure I'm quoting that right, because people think that I've lost my mind.
While you're doing that, I want to
Let
say it
me.
was on July the 25th, right?
Yes.
5 days ago was
Uh-huh.
when he talked about the possible rebate checks, right? So that's another distraction. He's throwing everything into the fire to try to get
Yeah.
that flame big enough to outshine Epstein,
And
outshine that Epstein light.
it's so again, and I put this on Facebook that I was absolutely wrong about how I thought MAGA was going to interact with this. And then we had somebody that came on who was MAGA that was like, nah, this is it. This is it for me. Right. They're not letting this go. And I'm
Mm-mm.
happy that they're not letting this go. And I'm trying to figure out how to flame these fans even bigger. That's what I'm going to figure out.
You know, something else that's happened since then too, man. You know, Paramount bought Sundance.
Yes. Yep.
Had to get federal government approval,
Colbert's gone.
and Trump bypassed Congress because that's supposed to be a congressional deal. He bypassed them and gave them a green light with conditions. One of them is they have to have a biased moderator that
Yes.
will report directly to the president for 2 years to make sure that they're reporting that the movies and things that they're producing is balanced. You know, not too woke. It's never not too right. It's not too woke, right? I've never. That's. We knew there was censorship, but this has to be the most blatant sign of censorship.
It's a constitutional violation. I'm trying to think of the movie that had a lot of white people in that time of the country up in fear. Um, Birth of a Nation.
No.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the original, right?
The
Not the
original.
Nate Parker one.
No, the original. And what's about to happen is we're about to start seeing these types of propaganda engines and tools pumped
Uh,
back because of shit like this.
Well, as someone that was dear to me would say, someone that was very dear to me would say, "Praise the Lord, saints." That's what she would say. And here's where it says in Isaiah, so they don't think that we're just talking out the sides of our neck. And this is in Isaiah 45:7. This is what God is saying. Quote, "I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things." See, there's a few verses in the Bible that sums it all up. So we talk about these white Christian nationalists that represent a small percent of European Americans. That's what they were created to do. They were created for evilness. And some people, unfortunately, are created for evilness. But you and I, all three of us, we have a blessing from God that's not what we were created for. And that's a blessing. May the Lord add a blessing to the readers and the hearers of the word. We weren't created for that. You see, but I'm dead serious.
No,
We
I'm
were not.
laughing because of my buddy.
Okay. I'm trying. I've been trying to understand Richard's struggles in a day, so I've been watching Roots. What's going on, Jimmy?
Jimmy, what's up, man?
I want people to
what it
understand.
do?
So when people want to say that
Hey.
we're just no, we're telling you the secular truth, but the righteous truth is from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And this thing with Jeffrey Epstein, the righteous truth on that is people in power have been getting away with things from the beginning of time.
Hello, y'all talking about Donald Devontae lying ass Trump?
Not Donald Devontae.
Yes, we are.
Devontae is catching bullet in here. Nah,
Right.
Devontae is
Jimmy,
catching strays.
right. All day. Jimmy, what's up, bro? I like what you got going on over there, man.
So does everybody here at Leap Fest. They're getting questions of, didn't Army say you're not supposed to have beards? I'm like, yeah, I think it's just for white people though. So like they asked me to see my profile, and I'm like, I ain't got no profile. But so I'm gonna be out in November. They're like, oh, okay, we don't care. Yeah, I just experienced my first accident in a government vehicle. Somebody hit my front end. So that was fun. Yeah. Thankfully, they didn't do a breathalyzer. Yeah, what's going on with y'all?
Oh man.
Hey, Jimmy, is your volume turned up?
Yes.
So I'm trying to. Okay, because I'm trying to hear you.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear you.
I can take them out and see if that will.
You sound like the phone's across the room and you're trying to yell into it.
That any better?
Yes.
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also doing it on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Currently
Okay.
PD-WAP. Okay. So.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Okay. You
All
can
right.
whoop and holla. But this Epstein situation, it should go away. But the fact that it's lasted since February or even January from the time he was inaugurated up to now, and it hasn't gone away. And they've been already saying that even what information they do decide to release won't be enough, because everybody's going to know you're only releasing what you want us to know. You're not telling us the whole story. So this is a lose-lose for President Trump. This is probably his first loss. The UFOs, he can get away with that one, because the religious people will say, "Oh, I don't want to hear."
So here's what I find here's what I find super interesting about the Epstein files is that it's the one thing that this dude's base is actually like, nope, this is the fucking line in the sand, right? Like,
not Medicare,
grabbing
not Medicaid.
pussies, all the other like racist, like all that other stuff. Like they're like, no, like
the hush money to a porn star.
Getting around this. Yeah, right. Like cheating on his wife, but this is the thing they're gonna hold this guy account to. Come on, man. Like they're so full of shit.
But Jimmy, even though you're right, like I've been saying this whole evening, this is a situation that's a reflection of the past. And President Trump said, "I am not a reflection of the past. I am different than all the other presidents. I'm going to make America great again." Well, you doing this type of action regarding Jeffrey Epstein is not making America great again. And you have the two extreme opposites on both political parties agreeing, because the last time you had the agreement.
I'll be back. I got to go pick up my DoorDash. Be back.
Listen, the last time you had an agreement on any issue in Congress was about them putting term limits, okay, on the leaders in Congress. They agreed we're not doing that, okay? They agreed that we're not going to overturn the bill that allows us to vote on bills that reflect our Wall Street transactions. They agreed on that.
Yeah.
Now you have both sides of Congress agreeing on, we need to do something about this Epstein. There needs to be something substantial. Then you have the voters, the far extreme, the far left, and the far right saying the same thing. So it's apparent that somebody is hiding something. Now, we don't know if it's President Trump.
It's got to be. It's all of them. It's the whole administration.
It's funny. So, yeah. I mean, and like, here's the thing. Like, you know, some of my super conservative friends who have decided this is a line that they're willing to push, right? Like, well, of course, it's the whataboutisms or what if-isms, right? Like, well, what if Obama's on it? I'm like, then put that motherfucker in jail.
Right.
Like, what if Oprah's on it? Well, then put her in jail. Listen, man, if Jesus Christ himself is on that fucking list, put him in jail.
You gotta go.
Like, but it, like, you can't. And I think it's more of a. I think what this is really kind of bringing to light, right, is the fact that this is kind of proving, like, I think a lot of his base kind of took faith in the fact that, like, okay, maybe he's a shitty person, but he's going to do the right thing by us, and he's not going to lie to us, right? But now is exposing Donald Trump for who he really is. He's a fucking shyster and a liar, right? So, like, it's exposing that level of, like, okay, well, your boy said he was going to do this because like this was the one thing he said he was going to do that, let's be honest, right? Like, doesn't impact everyday Americans, right? Other than the fact that, like, you know, and not to downplay the fact that, like, the victims, right, of Jeffrey Epstein deserve justice, but, like, ultimately, like, the release and the subsequent, you know, outcome of what happens with the release of the Epstein files, right? It doesn't have any bearing on me or you, except for closure, right? What matters
Right.
is, like, tax code and, like, getting fucking insulin at a decent price, right? That's what really matters to Americans. So now they're saying that he will lie to something that they hold close to their heart, and then people are starting to have a fucking problem with it. And I think
it's deeper. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I'll just go here in a second, but I think what's going to end up happening is if this continues and the gaslighting continues, I think it's going to. I'm hopeful. I can't correctly, you know, predict the future, but I'm hopeful this will cause the House and the Senate to turn at the midterms.
And so that's where I am. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah.
I think that this is a symbol of accountability. And this is an issue that both sides can agree. Allegedly, because of the underage girls, that this is a line that you cross that we cannot allow you to cross. Children, underage girls, I would take it to the abuse of elderly as well. Because in the prison system, if you do these things, they got to put you away from the other prisoners. Because Jeffrey Dahmer, they put his ass. I'm gonna just come into like this, Jimmy. Those white folks put his ass in that general population around black men, convicts, some of them legitimately convicted, some of them not legitimately convicted. And they knew he had hurt those young black men, killing them, having sex with them, raping them, eating them. And they took that man, Jeffrey Dahmer, put him in the prison system with other black men. What the hell do you think is going to happen? And he wasn't smart enough to join the Aryans. Hell, I don't even know if the Aryan Nation would have accepted him. I don't know.
They wouldn't have accepted him. They wouldn't have accepted him because of his crimes.
Because he was gay.
Oh, okay.
That just the fact that he was an openly gay man, they wouldn't have accepted him.
So they let that man, and to me, that was wrong. So you let violence, let vigilante justice correct Jeffrey Dahmer. That was wrong. And the man who killed Jeffrey Dahmer, I don't know if he got extra time. I don't know if he got a few steak sandwiches. I don't know what he got. So, with that being said,
well, I mean, and you're right? Like, I mean, you know, I don't think that, but it's tough, right? Like, so, like, you go into the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, right? Like, what he did was atrocious, and like, I personally believe, like, there are certain things that people should die for, right? Like, do I think vigilante justice is the way? No. But to your point, does Jeffrey Dahmer deserve some sort of special protection from what's inevitably going to happen? Like, probably, like, I would argue no.
Well, the reason I brought that up is he crossed the line.
Yeah.
In the prison, there's a certain line you can't cross on certain issues. This issue with these underage girls.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Crossed. And I'm not so sure with the underage girls, because I think it's considered statutory rape as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what both sides are wondering. Was it more like a P. Diddy situation? Was it less like a P. Diddy situation? Because I said P. Diddy, that's a culture of Hollywood. And what they charged him for, I'm like, no, he didn't make those people do anything they didn't want to do. But those girls were all of age. In this case with Jeffrey Dahmer, they're claiming those girls were all underage.
Yeah.
And it was...
well, so not only... So, and I think a lot of people kind of just get wrapped up in the fact that, like the underage women with the Epstein case, right? That's just one fact, right? It's I think the bigger thing is like the trafficking of them and the grooming of these girls, right? Like that's where like it becomes like super nefarious, right? Like, I mean, you know, like I'm sure all of us have known somebody that inadvertently ended up, you know, being with somebody that was younger unknowingly, right? Like I almost ended up in a situation like that. Met a girl, was dating her for a little bit. She wanted me to come back to her place, and as we were driving back to her place, I was actually on orders in the military at Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. She's like, "Oh, there's a school I go to," and I turn around and look, and it says Thomas Senior High School, and I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" She was 17. She was an emancipated, you know, minor.
Oh, she's good to do that.
Well,
Oh,
I was 27. She was 17. I assumed because she had her own apartment, she was an adult. So I mean, I ended it then. I was like, "Hey, listen, like, I don't want to get involved in this, right?" But you know, and I know a couple other people have got similar stories, but the grooming of getting these underage women, and then, you know, facilitating older men to come in secret to his island or to his apartment or his mansion in New York or whatever to do this, like, it's all just kind of it's more and more evil. Like it's one thing to know or to meet a girl and she tell you she's 17 and you hook up with her. That's one thing. It's a completely different thing for you to go to your buddy and be like, "Yo, you know where I can get some underage, you know, action?"
Well,
Because
hold on. But listen to this. The reason why none of this surprises me is you haven't read enough conspiracy books. Because the conspiracy books talk about the elite get underage boys and girls and do this. That's the first thing. Second thing is if you go into the porno industry and you go through all that sexual deviant behavior in some of those porno videos, they're killing people. That's like sexual deviant behavior.
That's snuff films, yeah.
This goes back to the beginning of time that, you know, these types of actions where girls were getting married. Look at the state of Utah in the that sect,
it's a different, it's a different sect of Mormons.
Yeah, it's a different sect of Mormonism. I can't think of it right now. Those girls are getting married at 13, 14, 15. So this idea that underage girls are having sex, that's not new. But I think in this case, when President Trump said, "Hey, I'm going to let all this out. We're going to find out what really happened," people kind of, I don't know if they believed him about the MLK or about JFK or RFK Jr., RFK Sr., or about the UFOs. But the Epstein case was something people believed in.
Yeah. No, and I would agree. I think that that's fair because you're right. Like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, not to play down anything that happened with MLK or JFK or any of those things, right? Like, you know, the Epstein thing is more, you know, in our face as far as, you know, our society is right now. Like, we're very aware of it. It's something that's happened in very recent history, and it's been on everybody's minds since day one, right? So, like, you know, but I think, and I do, I think that especially since a large part of his base is very conservative Christian, like, and let's call them what they are, mostly white nationalists, right? Or Christian white nationalists. Like that is the line. They're like, okay, this is the line we're not going to cross. But, you know, all this, our savior Trump, he's going to do it. But now that he's stutter stepping and trying to, like, you know, Heisman this thing and pull, you know, attention away from it, I think that a big part of his base, I think, and what I'm hopeful will happen is that the part of his base that is closer to moderate Republican or moderate conservatism will try to seek leadership from a more moderate conservative, right? And ditch him altogether, and then ditch his lackeys in Congress. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm hopeful that'll happen.
I think it will, but that's something that I was saying a while ago.
2026?
I don't think the Republicans are going to be able to maintain the House or the Senate at this point. I think in
Oh, I think
November, that's what I've been saying though, is that because of all the information that's been pushed out, people aren't going to forget about this. Every day
no.
you look at this stuff. There's just, even in Texas now, the redistricting of Texas has people pissed off. Not only are they pissed off about it, but they're also pissed off about this redistricting stuff that was pushed by the president. And so you're having more people who were moderate or closer to the center, but still MAGA, that are starting to say, you know what, enough's enough. I'm not going to continue to do this because we keep going down. That's what's being shown.
I tell you what, when it comes to the redistricting, I can't even say that word, doing the districts over again, gerrymandering the districts, whatever, both parties are equally guilty. That's a non-issue to me. That's a non-issue.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that both parties are guilty, but what I will say, it hasn't been in such a heinous act or in such a heinous movement to literally control everything for time immemorial, right? And that's part of the problem. Like, yes, there's been gerrymandering on both sides. They both played enough to make sure that they can win in the districts that they want. But what hasn't happened is it's not happened in such a blatant, overcasted movement as to show we don't care about what the people say. We just want what we want. We're going to maintain this power. And not just that, but the kickback, the pushback from the Democratic states that are like, go ahead and do it. Threaten us with a good time.
I tell you what. This is why.
So just real quick. Sorry, but to your point with the redistricting in Texas. So I honestly believe the reason why President Trump brought that up is because he knows that not releasing these Epstein files is going to turn a lot of people against him, and not only him, the people that follow him, right? And so he is trying to stack the fucking deck.
Yes.
And of
course, gerrymandering for Texas.
Yeah, and Gavin Newsom had he's like, listen, he's like, if he does it, we'll fucking do it, right? And
hold on.
And, if he does it, Illinois will do it, and New York will do it.
But wait a minute. Here's the thing about this. And I was telling somebody today when I was walking. Everything he does, Mr. Glass, when you say he does it in a heinous fashion. If the Democrats win the election in 2028, they'll do the same thing over. They're gonna be just as heinous.
No. They'll do something. No, here's the thing. I came back from my DoorDash ready for this now. I'm souped up now. Here's the thing. I'm not saying they won't do the same thing, but they're not going to do it to that level, man. And here's the thing. That's part of the reason why they're beaten down like Apollo after the Rocky fight now, right? That's part of the reason why they're beaten down now, because they don't answer like that, right? Yeah. That's why MAGA, Republican Party, is in charge right now, because they're gonna go below the belt, because they're due by any means necessary.
You are so wrong.
Hear me out. I am not saying the Democrats are the next coming of our Lord and Savior. All I'm saying is, at best, they don't have a unified message. They don't have a unified plan. The Republican MAGA had a unified plan and executed.
No, and you're right, because so like to that point, right? Democrats have been too busy reacting to everything the Republicans are throwing out, right? Well, this is the deal. This is the hill we're gonna die on now. This is like a guy came up to me, he was talking to me about like, what about men playing women's sports? I said, listen, man, like I support the LGBTQ community, like that's fine with me. I'm like, do I think a man should be playing a woman's sport? No, but right, like as far as a transgender player playing or transgender person being in a sport, I'm like, you're talking about 10 people probably in the entire fucking country. Like we got literally. Like we got bigger fucking fish to fry.
No,
but the Democrats want to make that their cross to bear.
Jimmy, hold on a second. This is where they lost the election, because I felt the same way many years ago. If you let a person who's born of one sex compete in another sex's sport, you've lost your country. Something that small. If you allow 10, you've gone 10 too much. Because it's the idea that, listen to this, allegedly, sports, is our last field of meritocracy. Allegedly.
Okay.
So if
I agree
you
with the
allow
latter.
that, to enter into sports, to where, in other words, I can say, well, I'm a trans white man. Franz Spitzenheimer, and I'm going to join Jimmy's family, and they're going to accept me for being a white man. And your family may say, "Hey, look, we ain't really racist, we ain't really prejudiced, but your black ass ain't coming up in here talking that craziness with us." Now we're Americans, and we love our country, and we love you too, but you're not a white man. Period. So you have to keep some level of sanity. If you allow the trans to compete in order to those sports, you kind of really lost it. Just that small. Because what that tells everybody is, I can be they, I can be him, I can be he, she, I can be a dog, because you're not defining.
And listen, like,
Go ahead.
I understand your point. Like, I get your point, right? But is it that big of an? Is it really that big of a social issue in the United States?
I think it is. I think it is. I don't
think it is.
Okay.
When you're talking about 10 or 20 people, right, versus how many thousands of homeless veterans, how many people on Medicare and Medicaid that can't get their medication, like that's an issue, right?
But if
people are that strongly about it, like guns, give it to the states. Let the states make the laws about it and keep the federal government out of it.
Wait a minute. If you cannot agree that a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl, you don't have a country. I'm sorry.
But I don't think that's what the actual debate was about.
No. But he's saying he's saying the transgender issue is a very small problem compared to all these other monstrous problems. He's right in that aspect. But if you can't agree on what's a boy and what's a girl, what's a man and a woman, when you blur those lines, you've lost your country. The Republican Party is not.
I get what you say. I don't think that's it. I think I just want to put this part in real quick. I listened to a YouTube about a guy who was interviewing 35-year-old males and younger. That's who the Democrats lost. He asked them, why did they vote Republican or not vote at all? A lot of them had the same common messaging. The Democrats forgot about us, right? The messaging was for the ABC crew, was for minority women and the elitists, right? That's who it was for. It wasn't for straight men. It just wasn't in there. And I think that's one thing. And two, another guy said, I don't agree with everything that the president is doing, but when he says he's going to do something, we know he doesn't, but he does it loud, right? Project 2025 was out there. He's knocking them out. Batter's box. President Joe Biden enjoyed a freaking, man, Congress was about as blue as a Crip reunion, right? Blue everywhere, right? That's what he had. But was he able to even get student loan repayment pushed through? No. He had to fight to get the infrastructure bill pushed through. Yeah. And they chipped away at that, man. The Democrats don't have a unified front. President Trump got his people in, anything he pushed through, they're going to sign it off, or he's going to executive order that thing to death. So, to young men, they see that image and it's good to them.
But could you go back to that thing about the Democrats weren't about the minority women? Did you said something else? What was the other part?
The alternative community. Forgive me, I don't know the proper term to encompass the whole umbrella. Okay. The alternative community and minority women. And women.
Yeah. And I'll say this, like, you're right. Like, I think that the Democrats completely did forget about, younger men, right? Straight men. Mm. But to your point about, like, is a man and a woman? Yes. But at the same time, I do believe that if somebody wants to make a transition to be a woman, they should be allowed to. Like, and I think that people who, like, if you were born Steven and now you want to be called Stephanie, I'm going to call you Stephanie. If I don't call you Stephanie, I'm just being a dick, right? Like, I mean, what's it to me, right? What's it to me to respect your wishes and call you Stephanie? or Optimus Prime or whatever the fuck it is you want to be called. Like, it doesn't bug me. It doesn't affect my prices at the grocery store. It doesn't affect my prices of the fuel.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You don't think it can. This is where I would have to disagree with you. If a person says, Richard, I was born Barry, but I want you to call me Bathsheba. Okay.
Bathsheba.
Bathsheba. Or
That's a hell of a name. You reach deep in the bag for that one. Okay.
So, but now Barry says, I'm Bathsheba, but I want to compete with the girls. Absolutely not. So when you allow someone,
I don't think that should happen, right? Like you're right.
It happens in California all the time. What are you talking about?
And again, and Gavin Newsom has said too. That's the one thing that he
backed off
with his party.
He's coming to the center now. He's saying the shit's not right because now he's trying to run for president. But initially, when Kamala Harris was running, he could not be found about. Do you believe in the transgender?
You're right.
Issue?
But again, you're talking about maybe 3 people in the entire state of California.
That's not true. That is absolutely not true.
Is absolutely true.
No, it's not.
So what it sounds like.
What happens is when you allow one person to get away with something that's so horrendous, then you're opening a doorway. And when you cannot control your sports in your country, and the sports is allegedly about meritocracy, if you can't do that correctly, then you can't do anything else correctly. So if you allow a person born a boy to say, I'm a girl, I'm going to compete in girl sports, what you're basically saying is anything goes. You cannot allow.
Here's what I think. But here's where I think people get confused, or at least where the line gets blurred, right? I think people believe that a dude like me is like, you know what? I can't compete in the NFL or the NBA. I'm a chick now. I'm gonna join the NBA, WNBA. That shit ain't happening. That's not what's happening. There are people that are legitimately transgender people, right? They have either the gender dysmorphia or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. They're going through hormone therapy, and they're just trying to live their life, right? They've chose a very hard path, and they are just trying to find some normalcy in their life. Now, listen, again, do I think that they should compete in the same sports? No, unless, right, you're going to regulate it. If a man who is transitioning to a woman can meet the same genetic profile as other females, fine.
So first of all, the other countries that were allowing that years ago stopped that madness in Europe. That's the first thing. Here's the second thing. To that trans athlete that competed in the girls' sports and won those first place trophies, tell that to the other girl who took second place. Tell that to her father, because I can guarantee you this: if I got a kid and she's a female and she's competing in sports, if I see one boy competing with her, we've got a problem. I don't want to hear about there's 2 or 3. I don't want to hear that shit. If there's one boy that's competing with my girl in a sport, and she knows she can be number 1 in that sport, and that boy comes in there, and I don't care if he is on no damn hormones, that boy comes in there and beats my daughter, we've got a problem. I'm gonna tell you.
And like,
go ahead, Jimmy. We're gonna switch to final thoughts after you go, Jimmy.
Did I miss the pivots?
You did. You was eating shit, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this.
Listen to this. And this is where Wanda LaMarie is correct. Trans need their own sports. That's only fair. And I know she's a Democrat.
And I would agree with that. I would 100% agree with that. But I would ask you this question, right? Like, how many transgender people do you actually know? Because I can tell you that the number of transgender people I know is significantly less than the black folks I know. And I know a lot of black folks.
Hold on a second. I know gay people. I don't really know no transgender.
Yeah, no,
but here's the thing about
that's his point.
But hold on. Here's the thing about this. I have no fight with transgender. So when they have their pride marches down in Sacramento, I don't have no problem with that. They can march. They can be proud of who they are. I have no fight with that. The only problem I've ever had with the gay community is the transgender when they want to compete in girl sports. I have a problem with that particular issue.
And that's fine.
With meritocracy.
And that's where we got to end it. We got to end it. We got to get the final thoughts. I got court in the morning. I can't stay on too much longer, but what we can do. is we'll run this back. We'll run it back next week, and we can talk about that as well as continue with the budget bill and other different points. But we can absolutely accountability. Yeah, we can pick that up next week. That's no problem. So I'm glad you said that. So next week we are probably going to have to push back an hour. Is that what you need, Deuce?
Yeah, because I'll be back working with the people again, man. I'm about to thin this sucker out.
You still in, huh?
We gotta do it.
Yeah, man. I still got a couple more years left in the system, man.
So Rogers has come with trans, which I know.
So next week
makes a great point. So we're doing 6 o'clock next week.
Next week, for you all, yes, it'll be 6 o'clock, 1800 for the military minded. We're pushing it back an hour. Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Jimmy, so it'll be 9 o'clock for us.
Eastern.
Yeah, it'll be 9 for us. 9 o'clock for us. 9 p.m.
I should be able to hit you up.
All right. So we'll bring it back then. So with that being, let's hit our final thoughts real quick. Deuce,
all right, I go first.
You want to go first?
Yeah, let me go first.
You got it. Get it.
All right.
Richard, so I'm
gonna listen to this, because we all do this in good faith, bona fide good faith. I'm gonna take my few minutes and give it to Jimmy, so he'll have longer time to talk on his final thought. Thank you.
Oh shit! All right. There it is.
Hey, listen, I'll say this is my final thoughts. Like, I think it was a good conversation, right? I think, just in summary, right? Like, I think I'm hopeful that the Epstein files is going to be the thing that that Trump's base can't get over, and it helps switch the House and the Senate. But while I respect and I agree with Richard about, like, I don't think transgender people should necessarily be competing in the sport that they weren't, genetically born into. I personally don't believe it's that big of an issue in the United States. And if people really think it is, I think they should do what they do with guns and let the states handle it, and leave the federal government to, work on the real problems. That's it.
All right. Deuce.
I want to highlight. I like what Jimmy said, giving stuff back to the states, man. I want to change my point on Roe versus Wade, man. I think. Hold on. Why is Richard on the big screen and not me?
He's not. You're on the big
You're
screen.
on the big screen.
I don't see me on the big screen. What kind of hocus pocus is this, man? Why is Rich on the big screen doing my final thoughts on my screen? Rich, what kind of hacking stuff? What? Hey,
I'm not doing anything.
Hold on. Let me try here. Let me do this. All right. And now I'll give it back.
Okay. Rich is with anonymous hackers. I know it, man. Here today, I want to say I changed my stance on the Roe versus Wade overturn, man. I'm with MAG on this, man. I do believe that abortion should be left up to the states, because they know best. And then I think that those states should give it down to the counties. To the counties. I like that train of thought. And then I think within those counties, there might be cities that have different views on this, and they should push it down to the cities and let them decide. And I also think that within those cities or neighborhoods that have different views on abortion, it should be pushed down to them. But within those neighborhoods, I think that there are blocks of people, city blocks that have views. But within those blocks, I think that there are people that have different views on abortion. And so let them decide. And so I agree with MAGA's train of thought on that. That's all I want to say for my final thought.
Yeah, that is amazing. I don't know what you just did, but
what would that train of thought? Push it down to the lowest level.
Okay.
James,
you're back to the people.
James, when we talk next week, I'm gonna bust his ass. Go ahead. Bust his ass.
Stop. Give me a
Push
second.
it down to the people, man.
Okay. All right.
My kitten is biting my wires. So I gotta.
I can't believe you got a feline up there, man. I never thought you'd be a cat guy, man. You were a dog guy, man, not a cat guy.
I am, and I'm gonna still get one, but this little guy, he's pretty cool. That's why I like him. His name is Stir Fry. Stir Fry. His full name is
Feline Predator.
Yeah, his full name is Sir Stir Fry Solicious Glass the First.
Delicious.
So,
like
but
he's never getting a job.
ever. But my
Not
final thought, not a real one at all. He'll get a MAGA job. But my final thoughts, my final thoughts are simple. I've been having this conversation, and I've had it a couple of different times, and I know that there's going to be a disagreement somewhere in the place about this. Give me a second. Get. America has not made any progress since slavery. I'll say it again. America has not made any progress since slavery.
Yeah, we'll put that up next week. I like that.
I will leave you all with this analogy. If you have your foot on my neck and I'm having trouble breathing, right? And I say that I've struggled enough to get you to remove your foot off my neck to where I can breathe, but you take that same foot and you put that motherfucker on my spine, and then you take your other foot and you put that foot on my arm, on my dominant arm, so I can't move, I can't fight. I've made no progress. You might have alleviated pain and pressure in one point, but you did it just to put pain and pressure in various other points and places. America has not made any progress since slavery, and it refuses to. And it's not because of the president that we put in that seat. It's because of the fucking people who are too disgusting to allow change to actually happen, who will not take the time to educate themselves to understand that their foundation of hatred, racism, and bigotry is fickle. And it does not allow them to live a better life because somebody else is hurting. It's just a fallacy. America has not made any progress. Just because I can come on this internet does not mean that America is progressive. If a young black man or a young white man or any man, any woman in America is getting beat by cops because their license is suspended, America has not made any progress. If cops can run in somebody's house and kill them graveyard dead and still get to have qualified immunity, America has not made progress. That's the same as a goddamn slave catcher. You can't, the 13th Amendment didn't abolish slavery in its entirety. It did nothing more, nothing less than expand it into a debt collector's dream. That's all this shit has become. America has not made any progress since slavery. So with that being said, that's my final thoughts. Those are my final thoughts.
I've said it before. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Fuck the police. I fucking hate cops. Fucking hate them. Fucking hate them. So much.
Yeah. That's my feelings
It was
on
good
it.
chat with y'all.
Same here.
Hey,
Next week, come holler, and we'll.
I like this.
Yeah,
we should change the pod to 4 bearded men. Well, 3 bearded and 1 goatee. Rich, you throwing it off, man. You're throwing it off. No one came to see you, Otis. No one came to see you, Otis.
Just waiting.
With that being said, as always, we absolutely appreciate everybody else coming and hanging out with us for as long as you did. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to be with us, and we absolutely appreciate it for you. Now, if you decide to, in your good Christian hearts, America, go ahead and hit that cash app for the Family Bloodline podcast. Hey, it's hard out here for a pimp. I'm pimping, but pimping, all I'm saying is I need that money. No, I'm just joking. That was that's just being silly. But if you feel like it, if you want to, go ahead and hit our cash app. We accept that. That goes to the bills. It helps us keep the lights on the Family Bloodline podcast. Join us tomorrow as well at 8 o'clock, where we will have another topic jumping off. We're going to talk about how these interwebs are fucking up relationships and couples. Just throwing that out there.
That's 8 o'clock tomorrow. What time? I mean, is that Pacific or was that Central time?
Eastern, 8 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Eastern.
5 o'clock West
Yep,
Coast.
5 o'clock Pacific. Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that being said, as always, thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night.